Hey Miguel, how's it going? Bit of an echo, there we go. Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Green White Maverick. Green White Maverick, a deck. Hey, what's going on? Dukes on Twitch here. Back with Green White Eldrazi this time. Looking to be pretty fun to play with. I've got this in paper, so I've been jamming it just in a few games. Really enjoying it. It's been putting up a few pretty good performances. Once Upon a Time is pretty solid. This is the first time really jamming that card in a deck, so that feels really nice. The Hate Bears definitely work out in this deck, so we're playing 4 Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Let me quickly turn on the displayer. So we've got 4 Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, 2 Aven Mind Sensor, and 2 Thalia, Heretic, Cathar. All of these are cards we can actually get down turn 1 with a mix of Mox Diamond and Soul Lands, which is really fun. We're not playing anything above Reality Smasher, so we're not playing any Endbringers or anything too spicy. Karakas, we have 3 in the deck, which I think is more than fine. It's been pretty good so far. The deck definitely hates on combo in Chalice of the Void and Thalia, and then against the fair decks and things like Walking Ballista, Palace Jailer, and getting some work out of Eldrazi Displacer, which looks really fun to play with. Displacer can be a lock with Thought-Knot Seer. We can try and make them just keep drawing it upkeep. Funnily enough, Eldrazi Displacer with Thought-Knot Seer is a really good way to get rid of a Terminus, because if a Terminus is Miracled, it actually goes to your opponent's hand, and you can actually Thought-Knot the Terminus with the Miracle trigger on the stack, which is kind of cool. In regards to actual removal, in the main deck it's just really reliant on Walking Ballista and Palace Jailer. Jailer is interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how this deck goes against decks that go wide, like Blue-Red Pyromancer, Bug Hogak, because Palace Jailer can definitely be very finicky, it can be very back and forth. So it'll be interesting to see how well this deck can actually keep the crown. I think Walking Ballista and maybe even Reality Smasher as a way to get it back are going to be pretty key. But we really look at the sideboard for removals. So we have 2 Orzhov Pontiff, which are great against Death and Taxes. Really a bunch of fair decks. Any sort of young Pyromancer deck as well. Also deals the True Name Nemesis, which is kind of cool. It can be flickered with Eldrazi Displacer as well. The original creator of this had Knight of Autumn. The original had Disenchant in the slot of Knight of Autumn. I kind of like Knight of Autumn, even though it's a turn slower in most cases. It can be reused with Eldrazi Displacer, and it can be brought in against a number of matchups that you might not bring Disenchant in against. It's really nice just to have like a bigger body creature, which can be relevant against some of the games that we'll play. Swords of Plowshares is just really good against the creature decks. Most likely the decks where we take out Chalice will bring in swords, so the dis-synergy of having a 1-drop where Chalice is usually going down for 1. Pretty happy to have that. Containment Priest is great against the Reanimator decks. Green Sun Zenith, Sneak Attack. Those sort of decks, even Elves if it shows up, but we haven't been seeing too much of it online. Sorcerous Spyglass was a Ramanap Excavator, but the original creator had Sorcerous Spyglass, so I'm pretty happy to try that out. It's really for Wasteland, so I'm pretty happy for that. Our mana can be a little bit tricky at times, so I think there's actually times where you would not be able to cast Ramanap, but you could cast Spyglass. We're not playing Plague Engineer because we're not playing black. The only black cards we're playing are Leylines. And I'm just choosing these because I think they're a lot better than Surgicals and Fairy Macabres right now. Especially against the bug decks and against decks like these new Storm decks. It's pretty hard to try to take off our opponents from 1 or 2 key cards. I'd rather just turn off the Leylines altogether. Sorcerous Spyglass does also get Belcher. It also gets Oko, which is definitely very relevant. So the Pontiffs come in off Cavern of Souls naming Human and Mox Diamond. So that's the reasons why I wanted to play it. And we'll probably even see this leak to see how well the mana is. But other than 2 main deck Serpents, the ones that are protection from multicolor, and the Disenchants, this deck is pretty much the same as the one that I found. That's pretty much it. A huge thank you to Card Order, who of course allowed me to get these cards ad hoc, and to mtgmate.com.au, which is an Australian online site that sponsors the channel. You can get 5% off singles with 5% off singles with the code Dukes, which is really cool. So definitely check them out. I think we're playing Leylines over Rips just because Rips are just too slow. Leylines hitting turn 0 is just a lot better. And I don't think that Rip is really what we want to rely on for Graveyard Hate, because we're definitely not being... We're probably pretty limited to the amount of white sources we see in the first opening hand. Hey, Sheen. When am I going to play Pioneer? Well, you have been a subscriber for 17 months now, so I think we'll have to get you on. Maybe take your junk list through a league before I take it to one of these events at Vault Games. That'd be kind of cool. But a huge thank you, Paul. Your support is always nice. It's great to see you at Will's. Let's get straight into this and see how we go. So we're playing a Legacy League with 100 play points. Green White Eldrazi. I think this deck's got a bit of game to it. It should be really fun to play. Got a lot of game against some of the unfair decks. Got a lot of game against the fair decks. I think our mana is probably the biggest thing that's going to be keeping us from winning a few games. Even just with goldfishing this deck, there are a few hands that don't have soul lands, including Eldrazi Temple, and those can be pretty rough. Or the hands where you draw multiple Mox Diamonds but no lands. Yeah, Chalice decks definitely generate free wins, but I think a lot less than they used to. With cards like Brazen Borrower and Oko, and even Veil of Summer, there's definitely more ways for players to get through Chalice than before. But yeah, I think like a turn 1 Chalice against the Delver deck or Miracles is definitely a lot better than probably any other disruption that I could play turn 1. Playing against Ironclaw 2016. I don't mind this hand because the Once Upon a Time is pretty much a land. So we're able to cast a 3-drop in our turn, most likely if we find a land off Once Upon a Time. Or we can just play the Chalice around Days. So I'm pretty happy to keep this hand. LED, okay. Playing an LED out for any deck that plays LED is usually something that shows us that they have the win straight away. So definitely not a great start for us, but hopefully with a few more cards we'll be able to see what this is. And it looks like it's going to be Belcher. Yeah, we've played against Belcher quite a few times on this stream. I guess I wonder what they try to go off with here. Empty the Warrens, okay. Well, that's going to be pretty tough. Because main deck we don't have a whole lot to do. But it's only going to be 8. Oh, and Echoes? Okay, well that's pretty rough. I don't think it's even worth playing it out. Unfortunately. I think the big question is it worth bringing in the Leylines? And I think it is. It turns off Echoes of Eons and also Rite of Flame. So I think nearly all of this, bar the Containment Priests and the Swords, are pretty viable for this deck. It's always tough with echoes because it just makes your hands a little bit more vulnerable to actually just not being there the turn after. So I'm not too sure if... I guess we'll see what we have to take out as well. I think there's some pretty easy cards. Walking Ballista is probably a little bit too slow. Palace Jailer is probably a little bit too slow. Thought-Knot seems fine. Reality Smash is interesting if they go for goblins. But it might just be a little bit too far up the food chain. So my opponent was having a think about Chromox and what card they wanted to exile. Tinderwall, okay. So it's pretty much... Okay, it's not 10 next turn because we don't have the Ancient Tomb anymore, so it's not like we're losing anything. Could just be hard casting a Belcher here as well. Burning Wish, okay. With 1 mana up. Gamble. Interesting, so just gambling for Echo. The card had to go to the graveyard, so I assume they just went for Echo there, because it's going to be the most value. But now it's a case of... Can we beat 8 damage? So we can play out... We can't play out a creature this turn, so we take 8. We go to 12. We might be able to cast 1 more creature and take 7. I think we just concede here, unfortunately. We just don't have a great out to the 8 goblins on the field. So I like the Orzhovs. I like the Leylines. The Knight of Autumns are great against an opponent if they try to play Belcher and pass turn. And Thorns seem great, especially on the play. I think the Ballista's a little bit too slow. Same with Thalia, Heretic, Cathar. Even Mindsense is interesting. I don't believe they searched their deck in Belcher. So maybe that can come out. Palace Jail is probably too slow. We definitely want the fast mana, and Once Upon a Time definitely helps with that. Especially if we just want to open up with a Chalice or a Thorn. Once Upon a Time can definitely dig us to an Ancient Tomb or City of Traitors. They now search? Interesting. Oh, they play Gamble. Okay. Then maybe it's worth having the Mind Sensor in. The one issue with Mind Sensor is that it trades with a 1/1 Goblin. I think it's our only creature that does. Maybe something like this. So we have Disruption in Chalice and Thalia. Thorn. Spyglass. We have Removal in Pontiff. Knight of Autumn. And then we have Leyline. Could probably even do something like dropping down on a Karakas. Maybe Palace Jailers. Maybe like the Displacer's okay because it can deal with 2 goblins in 1 turn maybe. Or maybe it's a case we just want to open up as much mana as we can on turn 1. So I want to have the ability to maybe have an extra land in case we have an extra Mox Diamond. So I think this is fine. Everything here kind of has a purpose against this deck, so you cut 1 once over Smasher. Yeah, Smasher's kind of nice because it does mean that we can try to at least... I think I'd rather cut a Karakas than a Once Upon a Time, because a Once Upon a Time opens up us a lot more to a turn 1 soul land into either Chalice or Thorn. So I think I'd rather a Once Upon a Time, because then it keeps our 40% in our opening a lot more than the Karakas. Karakas doesn't really do a whole lot in this matchup. we'll see how this goes. Hopefully get a third game and we can maybe make some changes after that. So I'd love to play first. And this hand's pretty sweet. So turn 1 Chalice for 1. And then Thalia. Wastelands are kind of dead as well. Is this enough? I think it is. Even Chalice for 0 isn't too bad. Yeah, maybe it's Chalice for 0. So what's our plan? City of Traitors, Chalice for... I guess we don't have to play the City of Traitors. We can play the Cavern of Souls. I think because we have the Chalice, I'm pretty happy. And then also having some ways to mitigate their spells. I think for 0 is fine. And I think then having a follow-up of Thalia and Aven Mind Center, it's going to be fine. The issue is that we don't have a white source, so we can't cast the Aven Mind Center because this Cavern's most likely naming human. But I think that's okay, because if we hit their fast mana with Chalice, they probably can't pay for a lot of their spells with Thalia outside of Elvish Spirit Guide, so I'm going to keep this. I still like Cavern here. I guess we could have hid the information. Maybe they think we're on death and taxes because they've named human. Or just humans. I don't think our opponent would see our opening and say, hey, that's green-white Eldrazi. One thing about this hand as well is that we have no Leylines, so any Leylines are pretty much just dead cards that we're drawing. Land Grant, okay. I wonder if our opponent has something like Veil of Summer, where they could Veil of Summer and then cast all their 0 drops. I wonder if they could even like Burning Wish for some way to deal with... They're just going to try to fight through the Chalice. Interesting. Gamble's interesting. They have 1 card left in hand. Hopefully it's empty that goes to the bin. Okay, what do they have left? Okay, they have another empty. That makes total sense. Okay. Okay, this is a lot tougher. I guess Thorn's what we really wanted. But now we're kind of dead. We do have... we do have 1 card that can get us there. And it is Orzhov Pontiff. But we do need to draw... I don't think that's even an out, because we need both colors and we only have 1 Cavern. So that's pretty rough. Chalice just not good enough. Well, that is game. I'm sure I could have, but the hand seemed great against them. I mean, I went through all my reasoning, if you were listening, so... Just doesn't line up sometimes. And that's pretty rough. This is definitely one of those hands where it's just a little bit too fair. So I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. This is a little bit better. I'm pretty happy to lead on the fetch land, so I might just bottom the Savannah. I feel like we played against Nathan before. Flooded Strand. Island. Ponder, okay. Pretty happy just to pass. We know the Savannah's on the bottom of the library, so we don't really care about going here. Another Karakas. Pretty happy with Karakas pass. Prismatic Vista, okay. This definitely feels like Miracles, especially the two basics so far. It could be like a Stoneblade deck, but okay. Interesting. Mind Sensor. Human. I think at least with Human they wouldn't expect the Mind Sensor, so I'm pretty happy just to play Mind Sensor and just hold open Mind Sensor to try to get them off their third land if they play a fetch. Interesting. Alright. Oh, that's right. White one. Daze is fine. I definitely care about more about my humans hitting the field. Thought-Knot's actually quite a nice draw. Opponent most likely thinking if they want to force this. Maybe an issue here was even just not playing the Cavern for Eldrazi. Force pitch Jace, okay. So we know that one card in the hand is going to be a island because of the days. Alright. Tomb. I think I'm happy not playing the land to keep the city around for now. Especially because it doesn't do anything on this board. Wonder if this deck plays Stoneforge or not. It can't get enchantments, of course, but it can get equipment. Or if this is just some sort of hexproof aggro deck. Swords, okay. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Days is fine. Sadly, I think we're just not aggressive enough this game, and we're gonna go down to a few invisible stalkers. I definitely want to see at least what else they play, to see if we can get any more information out of the deck. But yeah, the lifelink is brutal. Can't really even use the Ancient Tomb here, unfortunately. So at least I think on the play I'm happy to bring in Thorns. Knight seems fine if they're going to try to build up an Invisible Stalker, and Orzhov Pontiff seems okay. Could probably drop down on a Ballista. A Mind Sensor's interesting, probably a little bit less so good seeing they know about it. Yeah, well, it's always cool to see people brewing in Legacy, so that's always nice. I think the Palace Jailers are probably something I'm going to be losing a lot, especially if they're playing True Name as well. And then I might just drop down on tough one. I think it's Thalia. Just not doing enough in this matchup, especially when they play so many basics. It looks like they have a pretty basic, basic heavy mana base. It's a little bit too fair, unfortunately. This isn't that great either. I'm going to mold a 5 and see if we can just get a strong start with at least a Mox Diamond or some sort of soul land into a Chalice or a Thorn of Amethyst. Okay. This is definitely better. So we'll keep this. Probably bottom one creature and the Wasteland. Probably Smasher. I'm happy to put the Chalice on one, seeing we saw cantrips and Swords to Plowshares. I don't think we have the luxury of putting it on anything else. Our opponent also went to 5, which is interesting. Okay, they go to 3. Karakas is nice. Swords, okay. At least we have enough mana to do most things in our deck, and another Chalice for 1 seems pretty good here. Stops or ponders, brainstorms any further swords as well. They could have brought in Disenchant if they saw the Eldrazi kind of plan. They might have brought in some sort of disruption for Chalice. Null Rod, okay. I guess that turns off Mox Diamond. Thorn. Alright. Interesting game. Interesting game thus far. Another Chalice. I can't Chalice for 1. Or can I? No. What if I cast a Chalice for 0 and then pay the 1? Okay, that doesn't work. Alright. Yeah, I wasn't sure with Thorn if I could pay for 1 and then do nothing. Council's Judgment, okay. Alright. Yeah, I probably could have saved the Chalice. If I thought it was coming down for 1 again, it would be okay, but... Jace would be pretty good here. Just passing back, interesting. I'm going to save this Cavern for the next land I draw into. I guess they can't cast Jace because of the Thorn. True name, okay. Bit of an issue. We do have a few things to draw us out of it. Wasteland. Definitely play it. Mainly because of Walking Ballista. So make sure we have as much mana as possible in play. Thalia. Okay. Name human. Yeah, Null Rod of course makes Ballista worse, but at least it's a threat that we can have on board. Happy to return. Double swords, okay. Can't really stop that. The one nice thing about Thalia there would have meant that Flooded Stream would have come in tapped and become a Wasteland target. City can definitely stay on our hand for now. Yeah, smashes would be sweet. Aurum, thank you very much for that. Alright, Jace is here. Definitely pretty tough if they're going to start hitting our top of the deck. Oh, Once Upon a Time. I guess we don't have the mana for it, unfortunately. No, it's an interesting one. Maybe they thought we were on Jide or some sort of Stoneforge package. They could have even thought we maybe relied on something like Grim Monolith. I think Pontiff here is just the best card we can draw into. Or maybe Green Source into Pontiff. Karakas. Ugh. Search for his Cantor. Interesting. Okay, they put a card at the bottom, so now we have a chance of drawing into something pretty nice. They also have no cards in hand, so whatever we draw, we can cast. And we have drawn lands, so we should draw into a creature here. I guess we name Eldrazi. But it's getting pretty slim. They have a 2-turn clock on us. So I guess we have one turn for them to put something to the bottom, and then us draw into Orzhov Pontiff or a green source for Once Upon a Time. Which is pretty much fetch land being 2 fetch lands or Savannah. Oof. Well, that's pretty brutal. Sometimes that is just magic. So we are 0-2. Rough. Hey, Snapkeep Gaming, what's happening? We are currently 0-2-0-4 with Green-White Eldrazi. We went down to what looked like a sort of blue-white tempo, like hexproof deck, and then also against Belcher in game 1. So some pretty rough matchups, but hopefully the deck starts showing a little bit more power than it has so far. But yeah, green white's pretty cool. Been playing it in paper a little bit. It seems like a pretty good deck against a lot of the format, but you really have to make sure that you rely on a pretty nice opening hand, because you do have Once Upon a Time for a little bit of manipulation, but outside of that you don't. There's always kind of been that rule in Legacy where you either play a Brainstorm deck or a deck that hates on the Brainstorm decks. And I think this deck definitely hates on the Brainstorm decks. It's just a matter of making sure you can also hate on the combo decks and the other fair decks, and make sure there's reasoning to actually play a deck outside of just sort of one criteria, when there's definitely a few to tick in the box. Especially now where there's a lot of different decks in the format, and just a lot of different variations of decks. So you have lands, but then you might have Oko lands, or you might have this new Primetime Field of the Dead deck, which is very cool. I think that a lot of people definitely complain, myself included, about specific cards and decks that make it into the format. But I think as well you got to look back and look at all the cool decks that have come out of some of the new cards that have been printed in the recent years. Legacy's got that added bonus of being able to see synergy between some of the new cards and some of the old cards. Up against Deathrite 1-2-2. And this hand's sweet. Turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Thought-Knot, Once Upon a Time as well. I'm going to keep this. I think we just... So do we once here so they can't daze it? I guess I'm actually happy with them dazing this, because then they can't daze the Chalice. So I might actually keep the Once Upon a Time in case. Okay. Well, I guess this is going to be pretty rough. Maybe then I once for Wasteland? If they kept a 3-lander? See what we draw into. Now I'm happy to cast this for free. We didn't hit Wasteland, but we did hit Walking Ballista. And I think that's good enough to keep. I guess we might just go Ancient Tomb here for Walking Ballista for 1, and then hold up Thought-Knot next turn unless they have their own Thought-Knot. I guess we couldn't actually cast the Walking Ballista for 4 or for 2 next turn unless we drew into another Soul Land that wasn't Eldrazi Temple. I assume... Okay, our opponent doesn't have... Interesting. I'm pretty happy to let this slide. Another Mimic, wow. Maybe they didn't draw the Soul Land for the Thought-Knot they have in hand? City of Traitors, interesting. Let's go for Temple into Thought-Knot here. And hopefully steal a Thought-Knot. Urborg and... Okay, this is usually the time where they top deck the Thought-Knot Seer. So here we go. Has Theros changed shit up in Legacy lands? I'm not too sure yet. I'm not sure if that green card is being cast. Okay. Oh, Wasteland. Wasteland's really nice. I actually kind of like Wasteland here over... So we know about Urborg in hand. Yeah, I don't mind Wasteland. Probably Wasteland or just tick up the Ballista and try to deal with one Mimic. However, I think we just die to Eldrazi Reality Smasher off the top. Because we can kill one Mimic, but then we're taking 15, we block. Yeah, I think we have to actually deal with the Ivug in here. Mimics don't have trample, but we're still like... That's pretty much a death threat. Okay. Another Thought-Knot. Interesting. I think here I'm just going to play City and hold up Walking Ballista. Hey, Snapkeep, that'd be sweet. Definitely send me a message on either Twitch, or if you're on Twitter, definitely find me at Twitter, on at Dukes on Twitch. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Even to get you on and we can talk through the league. That'd be cool. All right. Karakas, interesting. I guess we can tick up the Walking Ballista and then also play Thalia. Or we could just play Smasher. So we go 2, 4, 6. Smasher for 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We probably have a pretty good group coming down to Melbourne. I'm not too sure about Adelaide yet. It really comes up to... if we have the numbers in time for it. Happy just to attack with the Relator Smasher. I don't want them to triple block the... I guess I don't really mind if they triple block the Thought-Knot, but I'd rather do it next turn when we have the Walking Ballista online to hit everything. Matter Reshaper. Everything becomes a 3/2? That's probably fine. I actually might kill... I might kill one of these, because then we can still block with Thalia and Thought-Knot. They probably wouldn't attack. I guess they might attack with everything. But just to make sure. What's your spicy take on Legacy Storm? Also, are you playing on Friday night? Chalice, okay. Thalia. 2, 3, 4. Just want to take up Ballista here? Or play another Thought-Knot? Attack for... I think I'm going to attack with just the Smasher here. Yeah, I'm thinking about more bodies as well. Especially to see what they flip. Wasteland. Interesting. Oh, they could even do this in damage if they wanted to. It's probably not doing much for them, so maybe they do. Yeah, okay. So here, just to use everything, I'm just going to build up this Walking Ballista. Okay, they're just going to concede. Alright, so we can definitely take out the Chalices. Probably even some number of Thalia. The Sword seems great. The Pontiff seems okay. Spyglass is interesting. Knight of Autumn's interesting. Maybe it's just like Knight and Containment Priest. Avon seems okay against Ayavugan. Yeah, Containment Priest with Eldrazi Displacer is very cool. Palace Jailer seems fine. Reality Smasher seems fine. Thought-Knot seems fine. Orzhov Pontiff's interesting. It's mainly there for the mimics, but maybe we just don't care about them. It can also make their stuff smaller if we bounce it with Eldrazi Displacer, but maybe that's just overthinking. Maybe I'll take that out and bring in like a Sorcerous Spyglass. Maybe like Endbringer is something that I want to target with the Spyglass. First Strike is okay, but I don't think it's better than anything else here. I think we have a pretty nice matchup, so I'm going to see how this goes, and then maybe if we need Thalia on the play, we can. We can Spyglass the Ayavugan as well, that's very good. So this is a one-lander that can cast Swords to Plowshares, but I really want multiple lands to be able to cast everything in my hand. If we don't draw into a land in our first or second turn, then we're pretty screwed, so I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. And this is a lot better. I'm going to keep this, especially with the Once Upon a Time. And I'm going to bottom probably the Orzhov Pontiff and just try to keep the Palace Jailer hand. Huh. I think it really depends on how aggressive they are with going wide. Maybe the Displacer's a little bit too win more. I think because there's more Displacers in the deck, I'm more likely... Yeah, I think because we have the Sword and the Palace Jailer. It's really just that they start again with their, like, triple Mimic kind of start. Ooh, I pass. Draw for turn. Reality Smasher. Once Upon a Time. Oh, there's Wasteland. Definitely take that. Pretty happy keeping my opponent off at turn 2 Thought-Knot. But it definitely could have also been, as we're seeing, just a bit of a bait for a Wasteland. So this is interesting. I can play the Ancient Tomb and just pass. Or I could have held it, because we're not doing too much with it this turn anyway. It plays around Wasteland a little bit. Yeah, turn 1's place is a lot easier to say when you've already seen the turn of double I. Eternal Scourge, interesting. Hmm. I guess the Smasher won't casting anytime soon. Nice, okay. Oof. I guess we just concede this and try to get there in the next game. Do I want to change anything? I don't think I do. I think Thalia just puts us behind a lot more than our opponents. First Strike is really nice, but a lot of the stuff that we brought in was non-creature spells. Are they better than like Mind Sensors? Maybe? It's always tough. We'll see how this goes. Thalia just doesn't stop that much. It stops Mimic, but everything else is usually bigger. I mean, it's not the greatest, just being able to strike down a Matter Reshaper, because it is going to trade into something else. Maybe let's go one of each. It is kind of nice to have Thalia and Thalia Heretic Cathar with First Strike, so maybe that comes up. This hand is interesting. Definitely slow. We only have one white source for the swords. The Thalia is kind of nice. Spyglass is interesting. The tough part is that I want to lead on Karakas with this hand, but I also don't want to keep my... I want to play my white source when I cast Source to Plowshares. So if our opponent opens on Wasteland, then I don't really want to be able to lose to just Karakas. Yeah, I could definitely lead on Wasteland. I think that Wasteland's just worse for my opponent than it is for me. So I don't really want to trade Wasteland for Wasteland. I'd rather trade Wasteland for one of their soul lands. I could regret this, but I'm going to mulligan this. I really want some sort of fast start, and this just isn't really where we want to be. The Containment Priest by itself does nothing. And this isn't really a hand where we're going to power out a Eldrazi Displacer if we find one, and just be able to use it with Containment Priest straight away. So I'm gonna mulligan this. And this is why you sometimes... definitely think about not mulliganing, but we'll keep this. We'll bottom the second Containment Priest. At least the Mox can't be hit. Can I cancel this or not? Yeah, I thought I had a second land, but I don't. And now it looks like I can't actually go back. I guess we drop the second priest. But yeah, this is tough because I didn't even want to play the Eldrazi Temple. I guess we kind of have to. I don't want to trade it for... I don't want to put it down to a Mox. We're just going to go all in and see how this pans out, but this isn't looking great. I have played Magic in the US. I went to GP Vegas, which was a Legacy GP in 2015, I'm going to say, which was really nice. But outside of that, no plans as of yet, which is pretty tough. It would be very cool. I'd love to do a Eternal Weekend. That'd be really nice. What about you? What Legacy tournaments in the States do you have coming up? Windswept Heath. Okay. Guess that's a start. If I don't be Smasher. Oof. We'll concede there. This is rough. Yeah, I think if I did it again to America, I'll definitely tee up Eternal Weekend. I think that would be pretty fun. I'd definitely love to do Eternal Weekend in Europe, so I think it's only fair to do Eternal Weekend in the US as well. Just hopefully don't. Hopefully, I wouldn't start out a tournament like I am now. I think this just means we're playing another league after this. To be frank, I'm definitely not gonna. Even if we go 2-3, that's not really how I want to go to bed tonight. Yeah, Breach Storm just isn't my jam. Kudos to those who play it, but it's just not mine. Why is my chat like that? Maybe that helps. Yeah, I kind of want to put up at least one sort of decent finish with this deck before I put it down. It's usually a little bit more fun. Been a little bit hit here, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Storm's great, don't get me wrong, I love Ant, but I'm just not a big fan of the Breach kind of combo. Alright, we have our match. We have our time for comeback. Hopefully. It would be really nice. Okay, so we're on the play, which is really nice. Turn 1 Chalice. Pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy to keep this. Pretty happy just to keep the Mox Diamond for now as well, in our opening hand. Okay. So we're most likely playing against an unfair deck. I guess if Chalice is good, maybe then Thorn's just worth it as like a blind name. Maybe I can do something like drop a Walking Ballista and drop a Palace Jailer and just go back with this. I think I'm happy with that. Pretty hard to tell from just a turn 1 concede that it's not good enough. This team seems fantastic. We can go turn 1 Thalia or Thorn. So I'm pretty happy to keep this. Well, this is interesting. I think I just like Ancient Tomb. And then maybe even just Mox Diamond. pitch the Wasteland. Play Cavern, name human. And just cast Thalia. Although Thorn is more expensive through Thalia, I kind of like that I can just cast this on my opening turn and get down a beater as well. My opponent's going to brainstorm, okay. Ornithopter's weird. Maybe this is a different kind of storm deck. Opponent's also down to 4, so I'm just going to cast this Thought-Knot. Not playing around days or anything. I'm going to force this. Pitching back to basics. Okay, that's actually quite nice for us. Oh, is this a ninjas deck? Okay. Interesting. I think I'm pretty happy to once here. Ballista actually seems kind of nice. Don't think Reality Smasher is where we want to be. Maybe Smasher just wins this race. Yeah, I think Smasher's just good here. Interesting. Oh wow, didn't see that. Interesting, okay. Well, I guess we return Thalia here. Haha. Ornithopter is interesting in this deck, because it works with all the ninjas and also the foundry. Pretty cool. I guess they wanted to brainstorm before the trigger so they didn't take any more, but it looks like it's going to concede. Okay. Wait. Did we just die? Is this game... Oh, wow, okay. They revealed something massive and it dealt damage to me. Interesting, okay. So I definitely like Swords to Plowshares. I definitely like Containment Priest. Does Containment Priest stop ninjas? Spyglass is interesting. I don't know if we need it. Knight of Autumn seems okay. Can probably drop down on the Thorns. Probably not needed. Alright. Priest is in. Palace Jailer's in. Maybe only the one knight's needed. Thalia's interesting, but probably not good enough in this matchup. Doesn't really matter if the creature comes in tap, because it's tapped and attacking. It does screw up with Foundry, but maybe the Chalices aren't that great if we're bringing in Swords to Plowshares. Knight. Huh. This is an interesting one. Walking Ballista is maybe not good enough. Maybe if they're playing... They're probably playing Baleful Strix, so Walking Ballista actually seems pretty good. We got Eurekaed, Hairy Crocodile. And welcome, of course. I'm going to take out the Mind Sensors, and I'm going to bring in the second Knight. And just a board wipe in case we need it. Maybe the second Walking Ballista. I could actually take out the Chalices and then just bring in 2 Thorns, the Spyglass. We're still at 63, okay. Well then the Thalia's can... Thalia's interesting because the first strike is really good at 3 power because of Eureka. I guess Karakas helps. Maybe the Thorn's overkill? I don't think we lock them out through Thorn. I think we just try to get down on creatures. Maybe 1 Smasher. That's fine. There we go. This is interesting. I don't mind it if we pick up a Soul Land with the Once Upon a Time. I'm going to keep this. The Wasteland's most likely going down for the Mox Diamond. Yeah, getting a Containment Priest from Once Upon a Time would be pretty nice as well. I'm gonna force it. Interesting, okay. We'll go for Karakas pass. Ooh, Temple. Do they have something else? What you got? Brainstorm, okay. Gonna hide their creatures. Hey, Crush35, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Ponder and retrofit a Foundry. I think we care about the Foundry more than the Ponder, because it means this Ornithopter is going to turn into a 4/4 which can block the Thought-Knot Seer. Interesting, so now they can try to ponder into a creature if they don't already have one. That's kind of cool. Oh, no attack. Another Temple's pretty cool. Take the Sphere. Ah, they need mana to do it? Interesting, okay. I didn't know that. Alright. Alright. That's cool. Smash is kind of nice. Sphere's fine. A little bit late now. Alright. Thalia. I guess it stops Fatal Push, but they can just do it in response. Let's just attack. I think Big Thalia is just better here because it also blocks the Infiltrator. It also means if they try to draw any... play a blocker, it means it comes in tapped as well. Chef's kiss. Alright, we are on the board. We are on the board, and I have a little something for that. I feel. Oh, feels good. Feels good. Even just that one win. Sorba one. This hand's okay. Turn 2 Thought-Knot or Aven Mind Sensor or Karakas is pretty nice. Vista, okay. Displacer. I'm gonna lead on Ancient Tomb. Because I want to have the option to play Thought-Knot next turn as well. Ooh, I could actually just Aven them, which is pretty funny. I think we just might go for Aven. Ooh, old school. Do we get there? Please. Are they going to force it? That's not fun. This looks like a blue-green Omnitel. Big Thalia did see play in Death and Taxes for a little bit. It also saw play in Soldiers. Oh, just a pass. Maybe they're holding up Intuition. So I think here we just go for Thought-Knot. That means if they Intuition in response, I guess they have to force this. Okay. Doesn't work out. So here I don't mind Thalia. And then we can play Karakas number 2. Keep this one. Now play Displacer. Just to get a bit... We're already down at 10 life, but I just want to get more creatures on the field to actually have a bit more of a clock than just Thalia herself. They could have Ice Fang Codals as well. Would I be happy? I think if they do have an Ice Fang, I'm pretty happy for them to trade with the Displacer. I think I'm happy enough to try to just attack for 5 each turn. There's not really a way that I can play around it other than maybe drawing into... I can Displacer it, I guess. Which is pretty bad. They draw 2 cards. That's not great. I think I'd much rather than just trade with the Eldrazi Displacer than draw an extra card. I think the upside of attacking for 5 is much better than the downside of them trading the Ice Fang for Displacer. Losing the Drawn from Dreams was pretty big. They could have cast it through Thalia last turn and probably found at least one half of the combo they needed, or even both. This deck's really cool. So it's a blue-green Omniscience deck that runs Emrakul and Griselbrand, some number of Ice Fangs. It plays Drawn from Dreams, which is kind of like a fixed dig through time. It's a 4 mana sorcery. You can look at the top 7, put 2 in your hand, and the rest at the bottom. So you can usually find your win con. The Eternal Glory, the Everyday Eternal podcast just did a pretty much one podcast on the whole deck, which is really cool because Julian's been a pretty big fan of it so far. They haven't said anything in chat. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. The one downside of Karakas is we don't have another white source for the Palace Jailer. But I think the Palace Jailer we're just going to hold in hand. Mainly for a show and tell, just in case they put an Emrakul or Griselbrand. Yeah, Veil's very cool. We played against Brian Cook the other week on 4-color Loam. We played a Chalice for 0 on turn... I think it was just turn 1 of game 1. And Brian went to untap Veil of Summer and then cast all his LEDs and Lotus Petals into the Chalice because they were in counter rule and went off. It was pretty insane. I never really thought of that interaction, but yeah, it definitely killed us in game 1. Yeah, Veil of Summer is really interesting. I definitely haven't been on the side of being hit by it, but it can be pretty rough to play against. You play Shadow at the moment. Hopefully I can finish Loam soon. I'm tired of every matchup being a really bad one for me. Is that just Blue-Black Shadow? Yeah, Veil is very mana and card efficient. I love seeing... There's a photo from Modern of a Veil of Summer countering a Cryptic Command, which is pretty much what Veil of Summer is. Also, just cool that that green finally has a counter spell. That's good. You know, there are other ones, but all right. No Ice Fang. Interesting. Oh. Alright, well, we're playing against Omnitel. Okay. So I don't mind Containment Priest. Knight of Autumn's great for show and tell. Sorcerous Spyglass is interesting. You can name Griselbrand, but we'll see if it's actually worse than anything else in the deck. Walking Ballistas can come out. The Mind Centers are interesting. They probably play Intuition. so I don't mind keeping at least one in. We can probably drop on... Displacer is actually kind of nice because it can stop Emrakul. Chalices are fine. They still run the full playset of cantrips. Maybe we can drop on the smashes just to finish the games out. I could actually just see me dropping down to one smasher. I do need a clock, but I think if I get to turn 3 or 4 and I get to cast multiple smashes, we're already in a really good position. I don't mind this setup. I think this is... Actually, Walking Ballista is kind of nice if we are wanting to get through damage through Icewind Codals. It just kind of turns off that. I guess so does... I mean, Smash is pretty good against Icewind Codal as well. Let's be real. I'm going to cut a Displacer. Am I? Ah! Hate this indecision. Okay, let's just go through it. Mox Diamond's great. We really want to have that aggressive, fast mana. So Once Upon a Time is also great because it allows us to have a better chance of having a Soul Land, an Ancient Tomb, or City of Traitors for either Thorn of Amethyst or Chalice for 1 or 0. Most likely just 1. For 0 is pretty bad. Thalia is great. Heretic Cathar is probably actually dead because they don't play Sneak Attack, sorry. So it doesn't really matter if the creature comes into play tapped. I guess it does stop Icewind Codal in a way, but I think maybe Ballista's just better with that. Maybe then we just play a 1-1. Still 1 up. Displacer's great because it's a clock, and it can also get rid of Emrakul. It can also tap down something like Grizzlebrand. They probably play Pyroclasm. Maybe that's a reason to... Actually, they can't play Pyroclasm unless they actually have the Omniscience already in play. Huh. Palace Jailer seems fine. Knight of Autumn seems fine. Containment Priest don't do a whole lot. Maybe I can take out 1 and that's the 60. I'm going to see how this goes and we'll go from there. I don't think this is a keep because we... I mean, what are we looking for with the Once Upon a Time? We can't get... I guess we can get Thalia, but that's about it. We can't get Thorn, we can't get Chalice. We have all the mana in the world. I think we mulligan this because the Once Upon a Time is most likely, I think, best case either gets a Thalia or a Thought-Knot Seer. But then we don't really have much. The Palace Jailer is most likely to stay in hand until we can... I'm going to mulligan this. I really want a little bit more of a plan with my hand. So this is a Chalice hand, which we can cast. I don't mind this. I'm going to keep this and bottom the Smasher. I guess I could have also bottomed the second Mox. Tough. Interesting. Ancient Tomb. Okay, that's pretty nice. So they have 5 cards. We're so close to just being able to... I mean, we can cast a turn 1 Thought-Knot, but is that good enough? I don't think Chalice for 1 is what we want to do here. This is a tough one. This is actually worth the I say this is Chalice, right? Alright. Let me quickly copy this. Alright. So our options are Chalice for 1. Hey Damo, welcome to the chat. Or Thought-Knot Seer, but not playing it around Cavern. I think I'm happy with Chalice here. And then we can just hold up Thought-Knot Seer next turn with Cavern of Souls. I think that's okay. They probably played the Lotus Petal to play around Thalia or Thorn of Amethyst, or maybe even Chalice if they thought we'll put it for 0, but that's not great here for us because we have the Mox Diamond, so... I think we do just want to have a little bit of patience and cast this Thought-Knot Seer through the Cavern. So I'm just going to go for Ancient Tomb and a Chalice. They haven't cast a turn 1 cantrip, which makes me feel like they just kind of have it in hand. But something like Spell Pierce here could definitely deal with the Chalice. Brainstorm, okay. It's kind of scary that they get the Brainstorm and then just lets the Chalice resolve. Because here, if they Show and Tell and put in Omniscience, we can get there. Once upon a time. We've already cast the Chalice. We can't cast this for free. So let's go cast Mox, pitch Wasteland, play Cavern, name Eldrazi, tap this for... Does that work? How do you do it for... I guess you just go like this. Okay. Because the Ancient Tomb can cast the... You can get the colors from the Ancient Tomb. Okay. This is pretty nice as well, because this means they can't Brainstorm away anything in response to the Thought-Knot Seer, unless they have something like Echoing Truth. Oh, if they have Brazen Borrower, interesting. Okay, so let's look at this. We don't care about the Force of Will, we don't care about the Brainstorm. The Brazen Borrower does bounce the Thought-Knot here. And if they have Show and Tell, they kind of just have it. I think we take the Brazen. So Brazen Borrower can bounce this. Draw a card. Untap. It gives them one more card to look at to see if they can draw into Show and Tell. So I think we just take the Brazen Borrower, and then if they have the Show and Tell for Omniscience into Grizzlebrand, into most likely Emrakul. Yeah. Alright, so we know about these 4 cards. And they didn't hit. Okay, not even a land, which is kind of nice for us. Another Thought-Knot. Okay, that's pretty brutal. So let's go white. Maybe I want to attack first. Because if they drew into Brazen Borrower, they probably want to do it in their end step. So at least I want to get my attack in first to see if I can deal some damage. I think here we just take the Omniscience. So they drew into the City of Traitors. So I think we take the Omniscience because we can use the Once Upon a Time to try to draw into Karakas. Or possibly even have enough mana for... If we draw into a Soul Land, we have enough mana for Eldrazi Displacer Grizzlebrand. So I'm going to take the Omniscience here. Am I? If they draw into Show and Tell, play Omniscience, they then have nothing. They pass. I guess it gives them 1 turn. Maybe there's actually a world here where we take the... Ah! Sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay. So the issue is if we don't take Grizzlebrand, if they get a Show and Tell Grizzlebrand and we don't find Karakas or anything, we lose a full turn. So I think we have to take the Grizzlebrand and just give them the Omniscience. Yeah, I think Grizzlebrand's actually correct as well. That's a tough one, but... And then it's going to concede. Okay, so we finish this one 2-3. Oof. I think we just have another league in us. I think we just keep this rolling for now. Yeah, they do also have a lot more copies of Omniscience. 2-3 is better than my 1-4 just then. Hey, we've had some pretty poor results on this stream, unfortunately. So a 1-4 definitely means you got up at least once, which is very nice. Yeah, let's just run this back. Fuck it. Legacy League. See how this one goes. We might even just do a few games and then see. Hey, Graham, welcome to the stream. Love that shield next to your name. Looking good. Looking good. Looking real good. So we currently went 2-3 with Green-White Eldrazi. But the deck definitely started coming together a little bit more, so I kind of want to run it through another league and see how it goes. Playing against Strom. And this hand's probably a little bit too weak. We do have the Displacer as a turn 1 interaction. A turn 1 play, sorry. But it's just a little bit too land heavy. And none of these lands are really that unfair. So I'm going to mulligan this. This is a lot better. I'm going to keep this. And I'm probably going to bottom the City of Traitors. All these other lands we can just work out pretty well with. So I'm going to keep and bottom the City. Not a lot of green. Just running the Once Upon a Times and the Night of Autumns in the sideboard. Force pitching Snapcaster. Okay. Maybe this is Miracles. I guess we'll see in a second. Scalding Tarn. Ponder. Okay. Doesn't give away too much. I guess Snapcast is kind of stuck in Temple. Polluted Delta, interesting. Black. Maybe this is like Grixis control? Snapcaster kind of gives that away. Wasteland. Not the greatest draw here. Do I want to play the Temple? Or do I want to... I don't want to play the Wasteland because I'd rather them actually just try to play a non-dual and think like, hey, they haven't hit Wasteland yet, maybe they're not playing it, or maybe they just won't play it. I don't want to play the Temple because I think that gives away a little bit too much information. This is a new league. I'm going to go with Windswept Heath and then just go for an attack and pass. I think we're at a mana stage right now where playing the Temple to have 2 out the following turn doesn't really matter. Oh, okay. So the Wasteland actually got turned on, because if they're holding up Brainstorm here, they're not. We could Wasteland the Polluted Delta in response, but that's not going to happen. Ponder, okay. So this could actually just be like a blue-black control list, but I'm going to assume there's a red splash in there, because it seems like red's kind of just in a spot where it's worth it. Playing with a delay? I don't think I am. Maybe a few seconds. Alright, Reality Smasher. Boom. Plains. Let's just go with Plains Pass. Demo, how's our good games at the... There's our Wasteland target, which is nice, but Jace is going to really put a heave on this. The one interesting thing here as well is that because we didn't play the Eldrazi Temple, next turn... Okay, next turn we can still cast a Eldrazi Smasher, Reality Smasher, even if we Wasteland, which is kind of nice. Walking Ballista. Interesting. I think I'm happy to cast this for 2. I could definitely leave up Savannah there, yeah. That even shows something like potentially a Swords to Plowshares or a Veil of Summer. Bolt. Okay, well we definitely use the majority of this. On the Jace. Which, I mean, if we draw into Reality Smasher next turn, we can still kill the Jace, which is kind of cool. But gonna get pretty lucky there. They put a card on top, so it's most likely just another land. Thalia, okay. Yeah, which, keeping up the fetch land for Jace as well is something that I could have done. However, there's always a reverse psychology as well of... Interesting, just bounce it. Maybe they want me to, like... Maybe they're going to him me? Okay. That's fine. I guess Smash is still really good. Ah! I think I keep this for now. I think it's better in my hand, just to see if they Thoughtseize me. So they're going to brainstorm. But yeah, optimally keeping up the fetch land there is really nice. Strix is definitely an issue. I guess I could see something like Palace Jailer changing this around a bit. But Mox Diamond's not the best either. I'm keeping these cards in hand because I'm in a stage where I don't really need more mana. And if my opponent wants to do something like Snapcaster into him, I'm pretty happy for that, rather than something like Snapcaster into Fatal Push or something a little bit more relevant. And this might literally be it, if they're going to him me. Okay, they're not. I guess we can just 6 here. Grixis is going to be interesting. I don't think we bring in Leyline. I don't think it's worth it. There's the him, okay. Attacking with the Strix is interesting. I guess we just play this and name Eldrazi. It's probably a little bit better than the other lands, so it's actually worth playing out. It also means that anything that we cast is going to be uncounterable. Hey, okay. Haha! Dreadhorde Arcanist, yeah. Very cool to hear that the Gold Coast has hit strides with Legacy. I'll have to come down one night, for sure. And play, because it seems like it's a good crowd down there. My opponent does have 5 cards in hand, so I don't really see this Smasher being too effective. Yeah, Brazen Burrower is very cool. Brazen Burrower is an adventure card where you can cast it for 2 mana instant speed to bounce something. And then it's a 3/1 flyer, which is really good. They can't be blocked by... Or it can only block creatures with flying, I believe, or something like that. So this is an interesting one. I could go for the Jace, or I could just go for Face. I think I just have to go for Face. I don't really see myself doing much else. I think I have to just try to go for like the God Draw that they can't maybe deal with, which is just 2 smashes in a row. Sadly, no one's been doing Sean's tricks, but pretty close to it. I'm just going to concede there. We could definitely try to find some outs, but it would be pretty tough. Against Grixis is interesting. I'm not sure if the Chalices are that great, especially against a deck with most likely some number of Kolaghan's commands. What was the card he cast then? That card was something Anguish, I believe. I believe it's something like target player sacks a creature, an artifact, or a planeswalker. What do we like here? I think the Mind Sensors can most likely come out. I don't mind the Pontiffs because it clears ways through things like Snapcaster, Brazen Borrower, or Snapcaster Mage if they're playing it. Spyglass is interesting, but probably not worth it. Mind Sensors is okay. It only really hits fetch lands. I think there's just better cards, unfortunately. They probably bring in Plague Engineer, so maybe I want some number of Swords to Plowshares. Maybe the Chalices just aren't that great. I don't mind the Thorns though. Just to try to keep them off some amount. Thorns definitely more for the combo decks, but Grixis is definitely pretty non-creature heavy in regards to its spells. Once Upon a Time is pretty sweet. Once Upon a Time you can cast for free if you haven't cast a spell yet. You get to look at the top 5 cards of your library and choose either a land or creature and put it into your hand. I think I'll see how this goes. Spyglass is interesting though. It's just a way to deal with Jace, but I think we have enough ways to deal with Jace so we can actually just go ahead with this. Yeah, I'd be putting out artifacts as well, but I don't really like this hand. It's a 1-lander with a Mox, so we'll mulligan this. This is a bit better. We get to cast the Once Upon a Time for free. I'm going to keep this. And it's probably the Karakas that I drop. I kind of like everything else. I guess we can play around Force Negation if we want to up... There's not really a turn 1 creature that I want to play with Once Upon a Time, so I'm just going to go with Temple Pass. And then just Once Upon a Time in their upkeep. Just to play around Force Negation. It does mean we don't draw a card. Palace Jail is actually pretty nice. I don't mind Palace Jailer. Especially once we Thought-Knot them, we can see what they have. Thoughtseize is pretty great though, let's be honest. Smasher. I think I'd rather play the Tomb because I'd rather have the Soul Lands than the Cavern. If we get Hymned, I think having the Ancient Tomb in play is a lot better than having either one of the Caverns or Savannahs. Naming Eldrazi does mean we have to draw another white source for this Palace Jailer, but I'm pretty happy with that for now. Yeah, Field of the Dead is very good. I think Jamie would definitely like that card. Blood Moon's gonna be fine. I guess we need to draw into Moxen to actually cast really anything. We do have the Plains in the deck, but we only really have... Yeah, the Moxen. Wow, they got a 2. Interesting. Gurmag's going to be annoying. I think we just trade here. I guess that's why they Fatal Push, so they could definitely cast the Gurmag next turn. Interesting. That's a really heads-up play. I feel like we have to trade, because if they get rid of the Smasher, either through a sack effect or a bounce effect, then the Gurmag's pretty much a 4-turn clock. And at least we still have the out of just Walking Ballista, which we have 2 in the deck. Okay. Yeah, Moxen are nice as well. Cavern, Oh. Something's happening. I think my game's fine. What's happening here? My time is going down as well. I'm trying to, like, what am I... This is kind of rough. This is MTGO in a nutshell. Is there anything I'm doing wrong? Hey, Witch King! Haha! A huge thank you. I guess I could restart Moto. Alright. Let's go back into Magic. Yeah, Moto can be a little bit rough at the best of times. Our opponent's also getting pretty close to just hard casting Force of Will. I guess they need the extra blue source. So a Walking Ballista with a Force puts them to 1. Ah. But yeah, this one was an interesting one. I like taking the Grizzlebrand. That was, yeah. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Witch King, where are you from? What are you playing Legacy if you play Legacy? Why is it still loading? Woof. Moto wouldn't be Moto if it didn't do things like this. Yeah, that's very true. That's why we love it. Alright, we're back in our game. It's loading all the modules. Currently on Stifro Pile. Are you from Belgium? Very cool. We have a few locals on Stifro. Seems pretty sweet. Our player is definitely still tweaking with the deck, but it seems yeah, it seems like a sweet deck to play. Definitely a pile, but nevertheless a very cool pile to be playing. Oof. I didn't think of Blood Moon. Maybe I should have thought of Blood Moon. Hiya! Ooh, okay. Does it resolve? Looks like it won't. Opponent's going down to 1. Alright. I guess we should actually play a land. Oop, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Real good. We can't do anything about Blood Moons, I don't believe. Strix is going to be fine. Displacer, rough. I guess maybe we should have kept that land in case we draw Mox into Mox and they force the first one. It means we don't have to wait to draw into the second land. Smasher. Rough. Yeah, keep at least one Cavern. If we died as Baleful Strix, I'm closing the stream. But this is definitely how Magic can go if you don't get prepared for the right sideboard cards. Oh, Once Upon a Time. We can't cast it. Rough. We currently have 2, 4, 6, 7 cards in hand. Another Moon actually isn't too bad. It means they're tapped out, and it's not this. The first one wasn't doing much anyway, or at least in regards to we couldn't deal with it. Yeah, Orzhov Pontiff. Okay, I guess we just go to discard. Probably discard the second Thalia. Now that we can cast both the Eldrazi Displacer and Thalia through the same setup. Come on, Walking Ballista. I mean, we pretty much have a few draws. Windswept Heath. Now that's a little kick in the face right there. MTGO, how dare you? How dare you? I guess we just play the Windswept Heath and pass. We're gonna discard it anyway, so okay. Snap Custom Age kind of speeds things up a bit. That's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's very true. Reality Smasher is just a dead card in our hand. Okay, so the clock's definitely ticking up. Classic. They most likely have some number of bolts or K commands in hand, so I don't think this face value damage in play is just everything. I could see a waste in like the board if Blood Moon was a big effect, but I don't think it is. I guess it also deals with Palace Jailer. Plague Engineer is interesting. If they name human, it means we can't cast Thalia. We can, but it does nothing. I believe this pretty much only gives us one more draw as well. 2, 4, 6. Do we draw it? Oh! What can we do? They're going to try and force it? Surely not. What? 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 I don't get that. I don't understand that. That's hilarious. So this is an interesting thing. I don't think we bring in Night of Autumn because we can't really do anything. I guess it's nice as an out in case we have Mox Diamond and a Plains. That's a really big shame. There's nothing really there that could have won the game on the spot. Rough. Let's drop down on a Thalia. I think on the draw we can definitely drop down on a Thalia. The Thorns are okay. Maybe they're less... Maybe the Chalices are better? No. I'm just going to go back with the same, pretty much the same list. One less Thalia. And see how this goes. Sand has our basics, but I think it's just a little bit too slow. I'm going to mulligan this. Better? I want to say. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to bottom one Ballista. It is a sad keep, for sure. Especially if they thought sees us here. I guess we have two Thalias, which is kind of nice, but... the Ballista to remove creatures is a little worse off in this hand because we have the first striking creatures as well. Maybe they go with Ballista. Okay, they're going to go with Thalia, Heretic, Cathar. Interesting. Mox Diamond. Oh, Mox is interesting. Do we Mox here? I don't mind Mox, because then we can just cast Thalia if it resolves. It's a little bit greedy. It is greedy. Jack, I know you're going to say no. You said no. But I'm fine with this for now. Ponder's fine. Yeah, that was really interesting actually. Pontiff, okay. Definitely attack. Oh, 5/5/5. I meant to play the Walking Ballista for 1 there. I think it's definitely correct to play the Walking Ballista for 1, even just as a second threat to speed up the clock a little bit. Temple's interesting. I kind of just like Pontiff here. I could save it for some sort of blowout, but I'm pretty happy just to try to keep damage moving here. The one great thing about Walking Ballista the previous turn as well is, if they did cast a Plague Engineer next turn, with the Haunt, I believe we could kill the Plague Engineer because we could Haunt the Walking Ballista and then kill that and target the Plague Engineer. So that's a big slap in the face. It's going to be him to Tarak. Okay, that's fine. Thought-Knot Seer. Ooh, Reality Smasher 2, 3, 4. Oh, close. That would have been sweet. This looks like a Gurmag? Drown in the Lock, okay. Drown of Lock's pretty cool. Damo, if you're still there. Drown of Lock is an instant for a blue and a black. You can choose one. You can counter target spell with convert mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. Or you can destroy target creature with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in land. Oh, with Eldrazi. Come on now. That's pretty sweet. Can this get there? That would be very cool if it did. I'm going to assume there's some sort of... Like, a Gomag Angler definitely stops this plan. Drown in the Lock is pretty good as well. I guess they have to discard as well. But then if they play a Gomag off that, it's kind of much of a muchness. Force negation, okay. That's fine. Oh, nothing. Interesting. I wonder if we're seeing like an up... like draw step K command. Ooh, what can this find? So this is interesting. What mana do I use? If I use the Eldrazi Temple, I can't cast a Eldrazi Mimic. If I use the human one, it means that we can't cast a true drop Thalia. I kind of want to cast it and then play what I draw into, I think. I think we probably attack... I think it's this. I think it's the Eldrazi Cavern. Yeah, I think Eldrazi Cavern as well. There's also a point if we hit Wasteland. We could take our opponent off Volcanic Island. But I definitely just like smash it here because it means they have to have some sort of removal or it's bust. This point of damage is relevant because it does also turn off Snapcaster into Thoughtseize. It doesn't turn off Snapcaster into Himdaturak, but... Okay. So now we just draw into a creature and we'll be sweet. Mox Diamond. Definitely attack. Do we attack? I think we attack. Maybe we... Yeah, I'm going to attack. I don't think it's not really great to change that. We don't get the Haunt effect, but I think that's fine. Jace is pretty good. I put a card on top. This is where it gets really... goes downhill pretty quickly. He can get that snap, but if we look at this game now, he could have also just bounced the snap with Jace if we kept it around, which is pretty good as well. Put a card on the bottom. What do we draw? Eldrazi Displacer. Interesting. Hey, Not Papa Junior BX2. Thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Are you from Texas? Very cool. We had a store recently at Magic Fest Brisbane where I believe they were from Texas. It was something Moose. Jack, you might know what it is, or Graham might know what it was. Moose Loot. Is Moose Loot around where you guys are from? Really nice guys. They're down to 1 as well. Put a card on top, okay. Interesting. We'll definitely cast it. Don't know where that is. That's fair. Texas is pretty big, let's be honest. Ooh, just a pass. What's good, Australian homie? Hey, Team J Bro. We're currently in a pretty bad position. They could put a card on bottom. They put a card on bottom, people. Do my hair. Do my hair for the big reveal. Ah! Not the greatest. Oh, Moose Loot has no actual physical store? Okay, that's interesting. Looks like we're getting jaced out of this, which is a little bit unfortunate. Paper Burn and the Cloak. So they almost have Legacy Burn build. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, they put a card on the bottom. They put a card on the bottom. Oh, Thought-Knot probably just doesn't do it, unfortunately. Wet is dead. We are just dead. Sadly. I'm gonna play one more. And then I think it's gonna be time to log off. This deck's been fun. It just hasn't really worked out in the way that I thought it would. It's definitely a lot better when you goldfish it. I think that's a very easy statement to say, but yeah, I thought this deck would have a bit more legs to it. It's definitely got that symptom of just drawing the wrong side of the deck against the wrong opponent, which I think is a very easy thing to say for a deck that doesn't run cantrips, and it's a big reason why Legacy is filled with decks that run cantrips. Ah, interesting. Is this I believe this is Show and Tell again. This one's just a little bit too. These are those hands where you have all the mana in the world, but then you just have one payoff card, and it's just a little bit too fair. This is a lot better. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to bottom the Wasteland. I think like the matter itself is pretty fine. It's just trying to hit those, hit the pieces that we have in the deck. Wasteland's actually kind of nice. We're playing 25 lands. I'm going to drop the Temple. I think because we have the Mox Diamond. Yeah, we definitely have a few lands that just, like, to Mox Diamond we lose a land, Wasteland we lose a land. The extra Karakas aren't, I mean they are definitely land drops, but a little bit different to something like a basic Plains. Yeah, but I think a big part of top decking into lands is because we're just not running anything like Sylvan Library or Ponder or any sort of manipulation effects. Once Upon a Time does do it in a way, but 25 is not including Mox Diamonds, that's 29. I could see myself going down 2 lands to maybe 27 in total with Mox Diamond. Especially with the Once Upon a Times. Yeah, libraries would be cool. We can be pretty aggressive with them as well. Hopefully our opponent has not got technical difficulties like we did just perhaps before. But yeah, I might even try to reach out to the guy that I got this list from and see how he's, or how they are going with the deck. Because they might have definitely changed it since they played it. Mind Sensor pretty nice. So this hand we can go turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Mind Sensor, which is pretty awesome. Karakas, of course, a pretty great card against Show and Tell if they are on the slower starts with just a creature coming into play. A little bit different if they have Grizzlebrand and can draw straight away, but we are on the play. So the Chalice is definitely a lot better. If we're on the draw against a blue deck and started off with an island on the field, I'd be tempted to play the Mox Diamond first. Probably pitching the Wasteland and then playing the Chalice around Days. Yeah, turn 1 Mindsets is interesting. I think there's definitely a lot more hits for turn 1 Chalice though. Especially seeing most Brainstorm decks are running at least, you know, 10 to 12 cantrips, whereas they're probably running at max 8 fetches, if not 6. I believe we played against Sorbo 1 before anyway. Yeah, at least if we start with Chalice of the Void, they can't respond to Chalice with a Brainstorm. So then I'd rather just shut down a Brainstorm that can't be cast. Come on, opponent. Come on now. Alright, let's go. Oh, we already did that one. I think we just do the Thorn thing again. So bring in the Thorns. Take out a Ballista, take out a Thalia. I believe we played against this player before, but I'm not too sure what they're on. And I'd kind of like to play this like I don't know what they're on. And I think if my opponent's just going to go out with a Chalice is too good, then Thorn seems pretty great. I feel like my opponent was on Show and Tell, but I'm pretty happy with just the 2-1s. I'm going to keep this. It is the old one-lander, but we do have the Thorn. And I'm going to do this before they can Daze. Probably for a Cavern of Souls? No Cavern, but we do find the Plains. I kind of like grabbing the Windswept Heath because it kind of takes 2 lands out of the deck. Scalding Tarn. I definitely want lands though. I don't want to rely on just the Ancient Tomb. Once. I'm just going to go with Chalice again. Pitching Brainstorm, okay. I also want the Windswept Heath for, oh, Dreadhorde Arcanist, interesting. I also want the Heath for, green mana to try to get out Savannah. Displacer. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, or even Force Negation is another one. I think here if we just draw a white source, we jam the Palace Jailer, but the Delver definitely changes things up. I kind of need to just go after my mana here, unfortunately. City's interesting. Thorn at least slows him down a little bit. It plays around days here. And it means... still just a little bit too slow, especially this this Delver, if it flips, is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the Bolt. And the next turn it's pretty much just lethal throwing back as well. At least knowing the deck that we're playing against, it's a little bit easier to sideboard than just nothing. Kind of just dead here. There's not really anything we can do with the Ancient Tomb in play. It pretty much means we just die to the Delver in the air. I definitely like Swords to Plowshares in this matchup. Leyline's interesting, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't mind the extra Ballista. Maybe the Thorns aren't really where we want to be. But I could be wrong there. I think Palace Jail is a little bit too slow. Maybe 1 because we have the Displacers. It's okay. But that's always a tough one. The Chalices were already in. Do you mean the yeah, the Plows are great. Thalia is pretty nice because a first strike at 3 power is very relevant. Yeah, I think the Mind Sensors can be cut. And maybe even just something like Night of Autumn. Pontiff is interesting, especially if they're on the Young Pyromancer move. Is Spyglass for Wasteland? I think I like just playing with this. I think that some of these are just a little bit overkill. The Thorns are tempting, but I think the Chalices do enough. Yeah, I don't think the Thorns are worth it. I'm going to try without the Thorns. I might regret it, but we'll see how we go. I kind of like this because the deck pretty much stayed the same with a few bullets still in the deck. This end is fine to keep. We have removal in a turn 2 Thought-Knot, which is really nice. I'm just going to lead on the Eldrazi Temple. Hey, Diego, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Alright, so here I don't mind just going Temple, Mox, pitch the Temple. See if we can play around days at least here. And then we still have the swords up, which is kind of nice. So I don't think we care about the Delver or Swiftspear. I don't think we care about the Chain Lightning either. I think we really just care about the Brainstorm. So I'm going to take the Brainstorm. That's the hand. Now I might as well see what they flip with the Delver, and if it flips... Chain Lightning. Okay. Now I kind of want to Swords this for now. Or do I want to Swords the Swiftspear? That's an interesting one. I think I just want to save 3 here. So this turn they get to go Delver and also Swiftspear. And the next turn, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If they get to cast everything. Chalice. Okay, well Chalice is pretty good. Let's be honest. They can still pump. Ponder, okay. Yeah, interesting that they didn't actually just do sorcery speed, unless they have a way to get rid of the Chalice in their deck. I know the Thought-Knot's really nice, so let's attack first. Might as well play the Ancient Tomb. I think we'll keep it for now. Guess we take the Ponder. Chalice is doing so much work here. Hey, Ask for Alex. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Green-White Eldrazi's been pretty fun. Not gonna lie. It hasn't really performed tonight. It's really just a case of maybe getting together the mana base a little bit, or having a look at what some of the decks we've lost to, and just kind of adapting the main deck. But yeah, it's been really fun to play. It's a nice kind of difference from Maverick, but hopefully getting the win here. Looks like they're just holding back. Ancient Tomb. I think we still just attack with both here. Staying true to the colors though. Yeah, I definitely can't just play a colorless Eldrazi deck. I think we just have to get aggressive here and attack with both. And if they want to block one, that's fine. Double block and draw a card. Chances are they're probably just drawing into another one-drop card, so... At least this also turns off fetch lands, which is kind of nice. Unless if they have, like, Brazen Burrower. Bolt. Ah, interesting. They're going to keep a creature around. I think I'd rather kill the Insectile Aberration. So I'm fine with this. A lot of our creatures can just block the Monastery Swiftspear, so that's fine. Okay. You know what? We'll play one more, and then we might call it. So tonight we've played against a pretty good mix of decks. Grixis Control, Simic Omnitel, Belcher, Eldrazi Aggro. We got there with that one. No, we didn't. That was pretty close, but a few others. Blue Red Delver, which is very cool to see. I don't think that had black in it. That was just a Blue Red Delver list. Because we didn't see anything like Fatal Push or Thoughtseize in game 2. Which is still cool. I think the Blue Red Delver is really fun to play. It's got a lot of game to it, especially now with Brazen Burrower. I think it's pretty sweet. It's got a lot of game to it. Drawn from Dreams is a really powerful card, especially when you can cast it for free. I also like that it can win through Gaddock Teeg, which is kind of cool. I think most lists now with Cunning Wish do have a win through Gaddock Teeg anyway. But yeah, it seems sweet. Even the Icefang Codals are interesting. It does kind of make sense to play the main deck, even though you're probably going to play against decks that don't have creatures in them. Just because of how well it replaces itself by drawing a card. It pitches to Force as well. And just like some few little things is kind of cool. It also like plays around Edict effects in game 1 if that's something that you're worried about. But yeah, Alex, what are you playing at the moment? What have you been playing either online or in paper? Yeah, Plow is a good removal spell in Legacy. It is very even instant speed as well is nice. Sometimes Icefang can just give away a little bit too much information. That's really cool. Big fan of Abzan, so that's very cool to hear. Yeah, nearly all these games have a lot of game to them. It's really just drawing that right side. So maybe it is a case of maybe going back to the list and looking at some of our green cards, and if we can maybe fit some Sylvan Libraries in this deck, that would be pretty strong. I think Sylvan Library is a really good card, especially for a deck like this where you can be pretty aggressive with your keeps. And it's great against the Terminus decks, which this deck probably has a bit of a hard time against. Thought-Knot Seer definitely has its moments, but there are points where you just can't play around things like Supreme Verdict or Terminus, and you of course play a lot of creatures in this deck, so there's no real avenue to winning a separate way. We're playing as Red Code Black and we're on the play. We have a turn 1 Thalia and nothing else. Huh. Sneep. Oh, this play is on Miracles? The Cavern helps as well. But I think there's a better 6, especially with Chalice in the deck. This is pretty close to it, because Once Upon a Time can hopefully find a source for a second mana. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to bottom... I like that I can cast Eldrazi Displacer next turn, so I'm going to bottom the Smasher. I guess Wasteland isn't doing too much this turn. Yeah, let's just... Okay, there we go. Alright, I like your thinking, people. Ancient Tomb, Eldrazi Temple. This is in... I think I like the second Temple here. Because I don't want to get mana screwed. I want to be able to cast all my spells. I think just having the mana around is really nice. So let's just play Temple and pass. I wonder if you play... Of course they start with a dual land. Once. All right. Astrolabe's fine. Displacer's kind of cool against Oko because we can displace our own Reality Smasher if we want to take it away from being Eld. Yeah, no, Orm, that's very true. I definitely like that reasoning. Discarding Entreat, interesting. Most likely a card they get back with, Oh, Cavern's actually kind of nice. I guess we can just go double we can go double Eldrazi here if we want. I don't mind double Eldrazi, because both can actually just protect each other as well. Not doing too much else. We have to get a clock on board, so... This also means Oko can't just tick up. Rough. Alright. Pretty good. Can't do too much against this draw. Especially with the Thorns, even just like I guess the one Thalia would have been pretty rough. I think we had Karakas, but even otherwise it's a little bit tough. I think we just save face for games 2 and hopefully 3. So I definitely like Thorn. I don't mind Knight, just in case they bring in back to basics, but that could be... I could change that. Sorcerous Spyglass seems great. Jailers are always iffy in this matchup. I'm not sure if I really want them. It's so easy for them to get back the crown. I think I can probably cut one Ballista and just go with this. Kind of want a Knight. I might even cut one Smasher for a Knight, just in case they do have something like Back to Basics. I want a way to be able to deal with it. And we do have Mox Diamond and Basics to be able to cast the Knight. I'm just going to see how this goes. Smasher is pretty good. This hand is actually great. We'll keep this. We don't have a white source, but I think that's fine, especially with the Chalice. Definitely a risky keep, but alright. Yeah, Smasher does seem really good. I'm just not a big fan of having multiples in my opening, and just having 3 in the deck is still enough to be really impactful in the game, but not enough to increase your chances to have 2 in your opening. I think a white source would be really nice here. Wasteland. I'm going to go for Temple Pass. What if my opponent plays Counterspell? Once. We've already played the Chalice. Yeah, Smash it with Cavern's really good. Even with Chalice, it's really good. If they brainstorm here, I'm pretty happy to Wasteland their Flooded Strand. Could have played a land. Definitely should have played a land. Verdict is fine, unfortunately. Oh, Windswept Heath, okay. I'm just gonna get a basic here. I'm gonna get Savannah, because then it can actually cast the Once Upon a Time as well. Maybe it's worth casting Once Upon a Time here to see if we can hit Thought-Knot Seer. I think Thought-Knot Seer is a little bit better than either Thalia. At least for now. Oof. If only we played a land last turn. If only we played a land last turn. From the Ashes is pretty good. I think I just like Thalia here a little bit more than the other Thalia. Chose not to shuffle. Choosing not to shuffle most likely means Terminus. They've played Verdict, but they just shuffled in. I mean, we have 7 power, we might as well try to get through. We might as well put lethal on board and say, hey, we have lethal, do you have something? It's better than going, hey, we'll attack for 2 and then Thought-Knot. I guess they can't actually brainstorm into Terminus because they need 4 mana for it. So that Misty definitely means Mystic Sanctuary. Another Thought-Knot. Is it worth playing something out here? play Heretic Cathar first, because if they don't respond, then Mystic Sanctuary comes in tapped. Interesting. I don't think I'll play a Thought-Knot, because then... Why would I play a Thought-Knot? Does mean they can't just have Ice Fang. I believe Mystic Sanctuary is... It doesn't get its ETB if it doesn't come in untapped. Mentor and Oko, interesting. Don't really care about Mentor because they all come in tap, so I'm just going to take Oko. No fetch. Haha, of course. Oof. We'll just concede there. There's definitely no beating that. Do we play two more? I think we just, yeah, we get this league over and done with. Yeah, From the Ashes is really rough. This music makes me want to ride in an elevator. Yeah, this is just Chill Hop Essentials, which is cool because it is copyright free, so I can play it on Twitch and not be hit with any copyright claims, which is very cool. But yeah, From the Ashes is really good there. Definitely nothing we could do. The Terminus on top as well is really rough. The Mystic Sanctuaries are really nice against Thought-Knot because you can't really interact with what you want to interact with. But yeah, very spicy card. Glad to see it coming back because it is a very cool card to see play. There's a really good Best of SCG Live where a Miracles player plays it against Chris Van Meter when he has Ayavugan in play with mana for it, and then he gets From the Ashes, which is pretty rough. Alright. We on the play against Perseal. Interesting. I think this hand's just a little bit too slow. We're not doing anything until turn 2 we have a Ballista. I think we definitely mulligan this. This is better. We'll keep this, and I'm going to bottom the city because we already have 2 soul lands in Tomb and Temple. What? Oh, is this an elemental deck? Okay, that's pretty cool. Now they get a search. Interesting. I think it's worth just wastelanding here unless we draw into a Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, I'm pretty happy just wastelanding here. Just to keep them off mana for a bit. Yeah, Elemental's actually got 2... I believe they have 2 5-0s so far. City of Brass is fine. Once upon a time. Interesting. Hitting Aether Vial is pretty nice, especially if they have Aether Vial in hand. It's not really something that you want to, face a Chalice down against. But these lands are going to be dealing a lot to them. Interesting, okay. That's a pretty good mana efficient card. I think it's pretty hard to say what it is so far. It looks definitely like just the normal version of sort of elemental tribal. Thalia is nice because it's pretty much hitting for 4 a turn if they keep using their double lands. Oh, Vesperlark. Interesting. Get back Flamekin. Which will be countered, but they do get the ETB. Ah, it switches. Very cool, okay. Risen Reef. Oof. I guess we can play Mox. I'm gonna use 1. Pitch the city. Use the 1 floating and a green to cast once. I guess we want to draw into Thought-Knot, so... Oof. Wasteland's kind of nice, I guess. We haven't played a land yet, I don't believe. So I don't mind Wasteland on Cavern. Just to make sure no 1-drops can come through. Aven does stop search effects, though. I'm not too sure how many search effects they have. Well, to be fair, Flyers as well. I think I'd take the Wasteland. Just because I want to try to keep them off casting this Risen Reef as much as possible. I guess they do actually have the the mana producing creatures, so that doesn't really matter. It really only matters that Chalice can now counter 1-drop creatures. Rough. The Reef has risen. Orzhov Pontiff definitely seems pretty good against this deck. Phantasmal Image, interesting. Well, we can kill Phantasmal Image with Eldrazi Displacer, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to 6 this turn. Oof. This is definitely getting out of control. Nuts. This Wasteland is looking so poor now. This is definitely an issue when you play against something that you just don't know what you're playing against. But to be fair, we did Wasteland as well when our opponent did have mana producing creatures on the field. Just another land. Rough. Even if they just go wide here, we definitely lose to that. So this is interesting. I don't mind the swords. Containment Priest seems great. Pontiff seems great. I don't mind Knights. I don't mind taking out just the Chalices. Probably some number of Thalia. First Strike could be relevant, but I think we just want to kill everything that hits the field. Spyglass is interesting if they're playing Aether Vial. I assume they would be. If not, there are a lot of relevant targets in there. Maybe not. I think maybe Jailer's I think they go too wide. Maybe Jailer isn't that great. But maybe we're bringing in enough to actually mitigate the ability for them to go wide with things like Orzhov Pontiff, Sword Plowshares, Walking Ballista. I can definitely see myself going down on maybe 1 Knight of Autumn and just bringing 1 Sorcerous Spyglass. Because I think hitting Vial is really, really nice. So we'll see how this plays out. Yeah, we got comboed by... this is a nice hand. I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to lead on the Temple. Actually, well, once... Do we want to once? I don't think we want to once yet. I'm happy to draw another card and then look one deeper next turn. Unless I want to hold up Containment Priest if we draw into it. Yeah. Wasteland, interesting. That's gonna be fine. Spyglass is interesting. I might Spyglass here. I might actually once first because it's free. Displacer is really nice with the Pontiff. I think it's just nice because we can cast it pretty early on as well. When Omnath, Locus of the Royal, enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target elemental you control. Oof, okay. I think we're still just naming Aetherval here. It's definitely the card that gets out of hand the fastest. Know about the Cavern, know about the Vial. Alright. Mind Sensor. Interesting. I don't mind Displacer because it turns off the Phantasmal image here. I could have used the Mox, but... It does make it uncastable for now. Sure. I'm just gonna hold up Aven Mind Sensor here. I could just trade here, and I think it's worth it. Just because there's so many ways for them to actually just pump this guy up. Land. Oof. This does turn on Phantasmal Image, which is kind of scary. I guess we can actually haunt it, right? Is that how haunt works? Can we target their creature? Oh, the ETB is not targeted? Okay. Cavern. Interesting. Do I now just have to cast this Pontiff? They can't target this with Omnath. They only have one card in hand, which I believe... Okay, Omnath's there, which they discarded. Is that just lethal? That's just lethal, right? Ah, classic. Rough. Alright, well maybe we can do another 2-3. I guess that kind of makes up for it, but yeah, some pretty dodgy plays that game. Even playing the Smasher into a Phantasmal Image when we don't have too much to do in regards to backing that up is pretty rough. I'd kind of probably rather wait for like a Thought-Knot or a removal spell of some kind, because when we're at 11 and then going down to 6, against a deck with a bunch of creatures in it, you can definitely have that backfire on you, so... yeah, Elementals is pretty cool. Definitely a deck that punishes you for being a little bit too slow. Whew. Yeah, Elementals seems like a pretty nice deck to get into for Legacy. It is a little bit cheaper than other decks, I assume, but the issue is that you're probably paying a bit of a premium for the lands and a few random cards that aren't played on different decks. So say instead of paying $200 for a mana base that you only play in Elementals, you could maybe buy like a couple of jewels and play like Maverick and have those jewels for a multitude of other decks. But yeah, I'd love to see more people playing Elementals. I think it's always cool to see new tribal decks come into the format. Alright. CJLUO. I guess this is a turn 2 Smasher. I don't mind this. We do have interaction as well in Wasteland. Oh, is this going to be Maverick? Maybe not. Noble, okay. Maybe this is Infect. Smasher. I'm gonna once first. Thought-Knot's pretty nice. Play Temple and just pass? I guess we can play Mox here pretty openly. Pitching the Plains. Maybe this is Maverick. Knight, okay. Interesting. Oh, Mox Diamond. I think City's just best here. To be fair, we don't have to cast City. We can just play Wasteland. don't have to worry about any sort of counter magic. Shadow Spear, very cool. Trample and lifelink. Well, although Giver does give protection, I wonder if Shadow Spear is what I'm really scared of. Because Shadow Spear on a knight is just GG. Shadow Spear is pretty cool. I haven't played with it, so I can't really give an opinion. But I think it's very cool that people are playing it. Especially when a lot of people have moved away from Batterskull. Having that extra bit of trample and lifelink can be really relevant. I don't think there's been enough time yet to say if it's overrated or not. Trample's really good. Sometimes trample is all you need in Maverick to be able to get like a, you know, a knight up to like a 5/5 or just like, you know, trampling over for the damage that you need. Beast is pretty nice. It swings for 6 here. Yeah, I don't like it in D&T. You don't really need it in D&T. None of it's really relevant. Once upon a time. Is it just smash or pass here? Smash or attack? I don't mind smash or attack. It's looking pretty bad either way. I wouldn't mind trading with the Questing Beast here. But it's going to be tough getting through this Giver. I think this is just a little bit too hard to beat. Yeah, we're just dead. I mean, I can make them make the blocks for this attack, but they have it pretty nicely put together. See what they discard. It might give us some information. It doesn't. So this should be pretty easy. 4 Thalia has definitely come out. I don't really like the Chalices. I don't mind the Orzhovs. I don't mind the Swords. I don't mind the Containment Priests. Knights are actually kind of nice because the equipment can get a little bit too rough. Sorcerous Spyglass is interesting. Maybe it's better than the extra Karakas? I'm going to take out a Wasteland. I think Wasteland is probably a card that I can drop in this matchup. It definitely helps them out a lot more than it helps us. I'm going to go with this. This is pretty good. It's a turn 2 Thought-Knot. I'm going to keep this. The Orzhov Pontiff is pretty nice. Ballista's pretty nice. I could see Plains pass, and then next turn if we draw a land, you can go Ancient Tomb and Mox. Wasteland, okay. The swords are a little bit invalidated. I don't care about the Gideon right now. It's probably between a Swords and the Knight. I think it's a Knight because the next Thought-Knot Seer is probably going to take a Swords and then get a Swords in response. So yeah, I'm going to take a Knight. They might even just try double swords here. No, okay. Or maybe swords the Ballista and then cast a 1-drop? No, interesting. What are they holding up? Once Upon a Time? I think here I just want to pump up the... Now let this resolve. And then just play the second Thought-Knot, take the second sword. Galactic is fine. Yeah, the tennis has been really good. So there's no good attacks. I guess we could attack with both creatures and force Thought-Knot. I'm just going to hold up Walking Ballista and Containment Priest. Do I want to kill the Giver of Runes in response? I don't think I do. We just take the hit. Might as well just stick this up. Pontiff is interesting. I'm trying to figure out how Haunt works, because you can't see it on MTGO. And if there's a way I can use it with Walking Ballista effectively if I wait a few turns. So essentially when it dies, it exiles and targets a creature. When that creature dies, it does the same thing. I kind of like just playing Smasher here and passing, or maybe dealing with the Giver and then passing. Maybe Smasher pass is fine. I think the Giver isn't too bad right now because it gives protection to the Questing Beast, but the Reality Smasher is a 5/5. So unless they draw into a Exalted creature, it doesn't really matter. So I might have like another turn where I can just keep the Walking Ballista alive and try to get it to 3 counters. Ah, it does have Death Touch, that's true. Interesting attack with Gadok Teeg. So this is literally so they can cast their Gideon. I think here the plan is just to maybe give up on the Ballista, block the Gadok Teeg, and then just kill the Giver of Runes. They definitely, well, they don't definitely have Green Suns in hand, but we know that they have Gideon, so it's better to assume that they want to cast their Gideon. Yeah, I'm gonna... a little bit rough. I'm gonna block here. And then before damage... hopefully this stops. Yeah, okay, cool. Interesting. Can we still block? No, we can't, of course. Knight's gonna be fine. And a mum. Okay. Mind sensor. I think your Pontiff is just the play. Get rid of the mum, and then see if we can trade with a creature later on. Because we know the last card in hand is Gideon. Kind of want to keep my loaf total up a little bit, so I'm happy just to throw away this Orzhov Pontiff here. Another tomb isn't great. Hey, Bob Squeezy, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. Kind of have to deal with this Galactique. I guess we can take two more. It's not great. Oh, swords. I don't mind swords on questing base and then start attacking with the Reality Smasher. Just so they can't draw into Karakas, that'd be pretty rough. I have to start attacking or else I'm not going to win this game. Yeah, sadly I think I have to kill the Teague as well. They probably attack with both creatures here. Alright. I don't really want to give him a card, but I kind of have to. And I think we just have to trade 2 for 1 here. Which doesn't feel great, but I have to get this Knight of Autumn off the field. I could keep the Priest if I wanted to, because I think drawing into Eldrazi Displacer is kind of nice. But these Ancient Tombs are now turned off as well. But Gideon's really good because they can make it 2/2. We can't really attack with both creatures because of being at 2 life. I guess we can draw like Knight of Autumn would be pretty good because we can gain life and then have a 2/1 blocker. I think Knight of Autumn is probably the best draw. Oh, Green Sun's for 3. Rough. Karakas. Kind of something to say go here. Swedish? Very cool. That's awesome to hear. Wasteland on Tomb's fine. Tomb's dead pretty much anyway, so if they're not going after Cavern of Souls, I'm pretty happy. Oh, that's very cool. I really like that that pickup Aurum. That's very cool. Because yeah, the draw effect on Thought-Knot Seer is pretty good for my opponents. Have to double block. Yeah, Knight's pretty tough. It's just it gets bigger than our creatures really fast, and of course Wasteland's really nice against a lot of the soul lands. I'll have to find my paper bill, because I believe I had Noble Hierarchs in here somewhere over other creatures, and they weren't too bad. This White Eldrazi deck isn't doing as good as I planned, unfortunately. But it is like a ton of fun to play. That's just game. Yeah, so sadly that's a 1/4 league. Yeah, definitely. You kind of have to have like turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Thought-Knot, turn 3 Smasher, like just pump out threats and also a little bit of disruption. Have you played the list at top 8 of the GP? Is this an Eldrazi list or a Maverick list? Sadly, no more leagues. It's nearly 11 PM. So this is the list, which was, yeah, a ton of fun to play, but sadly just didn't really come together like I thought it might. So yeah, we currently have 25 mana sources, plus the 4 Mox Diamonds, plus 4 Once Upon a Time. We have the Chalices and Thalias for combo hate, pretty much. Even as well for some sort of combo hate. Thought-Knots and Reality Smashers are really there just to plow through some damage. Ballistas for removal. Ah, no, I haven't. I'll have to have a look at it because that sounds very cool. But for now, that is it. A huge thank you to you guys for coming in, especially Jack, Aurum, Grid GM. Hope you had a good night as well. Yeah, sadly just didn't get the results that we wanted, but I think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement in this list. This was the first time that I took it through a few leagues. And I can definitely see some changes to the mana base. A few times we just didn't have colored mana, which is definitely tough. The deck's currently running only 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sources, including Mox Diamond, which I guess Cavern of Souls makes 16, but which does sound a lot, but it probably isn't. Alex, you are more than welcome. You guys can find me on Twitter at Dukes on Twitch. You guys can find me here, of course, at Dukes on Twitch. I stream on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is 4 hours ago. And then also on Sunday mornings. I think we'll go back to Green-White Maverick. I was playing a lot of Green-White Black Maverick, but I want to try out some of these Green-White lists that are just looking a little bit more consistent. And I actually really want to try out Once Upon a Time in Maverick and see how it goes, because it does seem pretty cool. It's just trying to find the slots for it, because usually what you're cutting are going to be some of the green creatures that you could be looking for with Green Suns, but I've seen some 5-0 lists come up with the right sort of mix, so we'll see what happens there. A huge thank you to you guys who supported me and followed me through the stream. That was really cool. Enjoy your weeks, stay safe, play fair, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to quickly send you guys over to Andre. So thank you very much. Different stream.